All right, here we are live from Studio B, if you can call it that. I have been working on the new desk, the sit-stand desk, and so the main location is unavailable for streaming tonight. Hopefully the lights are okay. I'm not completely happy with everything, but this will work in a pinch. I'm using the Nexigo Iris via USB, and yeah, hopefully this will well, I'm using a different mic, so there's not a lot I can do with it. It's a USB mic, and it's not a terribly expensive mic. Thus, this being a secondary location to do any work from. Just curious. Is this even showing up? Okay. I guess that doesn't look too bad on my phone. I can assure you I'm using the mic that is attached to the computer. Well, let me double. Oh, hold on. Hold that thought. Test 1, 2. Is this any better? That may have been the mic on the Nexigo. Is this any better? Check, check, check. Test 1, 2. Can somebody let me know in the comments? Is this any better? Anybody? Bueller? Just lower volume. Okay, well, let me try to fix that. Okay, I bumped the volume up on the mic through StreamYard. I don't think there's anything else I can do on the mic itself. This is somewhat of an experiment, so if people don't think this is worth doing tonight, then I will just kill it. So yes, I am downstairs at the funeral home. I'm in paneling hell right now. So we're doing what we need to do to get by while the new desk is being put together. I got the legs built, which took the better part of the afternoon. I've got to put the feet on the built leg structure, but I think I've got everything in place. And so when I get home from work tomorrow afternoon, I can assemble the tabletop for this and get the legs mounted to it and hopefully flip it up right and start putting the studio office back together. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes together and to verify that it works everything works once it's put together. All right, so let's see who we've got in chat tonight. David Grishko popped in and popped out. We've got David from PE for Doers. We've got TVJ. We've got Alonzo Smith. We've got Ezra. And we've got Joe. So, and let's see, anybody else? My Sea Prince in the wee hours of the morning. I'm going to try something, and I'm not entirely sure this is going to work, but bear with me for just a moment. And we've got a new person, Setlease. Probably butchered the name, but welcome. All right, so in the stream yesterday afternoon, My Sea Prince was asking about the file manager in Linux Lite. So I'm going to try to share my screen. You're going to get Inception for just a moment, and then I've got to switch over to the other virtual desktop in order to make this work, which is why I'm monitoring this on my phone. So bear with me for just a second. This is a little different using just one monitor here. So let's do that. And if we come over here, and hopefully that will update on my phone so I can there it worked. Okay, so the problem presented yesterday was that the menu bar had gone missing. So you got something that looks like this. And I went through an install so I could test this out myself. There is a keyboard shortcut. So menu bar here, it says Control and M as in mouse. Control M will show or disable the menu bar. So that's what you have to do. And you should get that back pretty easy. So, and I'm going to remove that. I'll put this. And we'll make a comment in the chat on that so that the comment shows up there for people to reference. Okay, so yeah, let's see. TBJ says, I'm working on my stream for tomorrow. Not sure the topic yet. All right. Well, so what's new? You're very welcome, I see, Prince. Hopefully that's helpful. So in my prepping for my project in the office, I did happen to find a whole set of rack studs, set of 4. I found my little miniature, and I know that's not going to show up very well, my miniature SanDisk USB drive. I think I've got Tails installed on that, and a regular, I think this is an 8 gig SanDisk. It is in fact 8 gig. I'm not sure if that's USB 2 or 3 because they colored it red instead of using standard colors. So I found a few little odds and ends that I knew were floating around, but I didn't know exactly where they all were. Needless to say, I didn't really put together much of a plan for tonight. So we are just hanging out a little bit. Yeah, let's see. Red is USB 2. Most of my USB 2 stuff is white. So I think this is red because it's a SanDisk and it matches the red slider on this particular USB stick. I think that's just a SanDisk thing. How did you find it? Is it the same with other Linux? So no, it's actually not the same with other Linux. I found it because it actually says next to the option in that menu. I can share that screen again. Let me take your comment off and we'll switch back over here. So in the view menu, next to the menu bar option, it does say Control M right in the menu. And the reason it will be different in other Linux is that this is running the Thunar file manager. Now, if I take this out of full screen mode and I drop down and I open up the file manager on Linux Mint, this is running Nemo, and it does not have a shortcut for the menu bar, apparently. It's got a checkbox, but it doesn't have a keyboard shortcut. So I don't really want to turn that off at the moment. But every desktop environment that uses a different file manager is going to have a different keyboard shortcut, or they might not have any shortcut at all. So this machine is an HP Pro Desk I'm running this on. And this is a machine I picked up on the cheap, threw a solid state drive in it, and it runs Mint just beautifully. I don't use this system a whole awful lot, but it was sure handy to have it ready to go for tonight. So what I really want is information about the system. Okay, plan B. So, all right, we will do uname-A. So this is an HP Pro Desk, obviously with the 5.15 kernel. This is Mint based on Ubuntu 22.04. And grabbing the CPU information, this is an i5 7500 processor. So it's not the newest thing, but it's not an awful system to be streaming from in a pinch. So hopefully that gives a little information there. And let me take that off. So the Inception is gone. Red SanDisk is 2, blue is 3. Okay. I don't think I've got any newer SanDisk USB sticks. I just know most of my USB 2 sticks are white. So we have a bunch of SanDisk drives at work. Red is 2, blue is 3. Very good. Good to know. I tried to download Tails, but could not find the SHA-256. Not sure if that's easily available to find. Let's see. Maybe, again, bear with the Inception a moment. Okay, verifying a Tails image for reproducibility. I'm not sure that's necessarily what we want. Let's see. So there's a download link. Verify your download. And so it appears that you have to do it through their website, or verify using the OpenPGP signature. So it doesn't appear that they supply a SHA-256 hash. Interesting. All right. Well, that's good to know. Note to self, deleted chat messages still show up in StreamYard. Interesting. All right. I guess I was not aware of that one, but usually I'm running the show instead of being a participant. Other than the StreamYard live stream that the founders do right before I do my stream on Sunday nights. So, yeah. Other than the office being torn apart, I guess things are going all right at the moment. Got a few things done this weekend besides the work on the office, and that's a good thing. I'm not really scripting, but building a document of bullet points to talk about for an SSH video. I've seen a few more questions pop up lately related to SSH, and I know I've covered. I use SSH quite a lot in my streams, but I don't know as though I've built a comprehensive video covering some of the finer points, such as setting up SSH agent and using a config file for management of your public-private key pairs. Talking about security and the importance of using a different key pair for each server you connect to, things of that nature. And so since I've had some additional questions lately, I thought, well, maybe now's the time to do that, and we'll see what kind of video or series of videos I can come up with. I suspect it's going to be at least 2 videos, but I haven't 100% decided on that yet. So, yeah, this beautiful mic arm, it's got the RGB in it, and yeah, I've had it set up down here for a while. I haven't really played too much with it. I'm not even sure if it follows any standard where I can control it in software or not. Although that might be an interesting experiment during the stream, is just to see if we might be able to control that. We could, well, shoot, let's just do it. Sorry about the inception one more time. Okay, so if we come over here to the other screen, and we'll open up the Mint software manager, and we'll search for OpenRGB, and it does in fact have OpenRGB listed. So let's see, just for grins, if this will install. And with a little luck, we might be able to control this thing. So there is an ulterior motive for talking about OpenRGB. It seems that, and I'll probably mention this again in midweek news this week, but it seems that there is some initial work underway to get an API in the Linux kernel, or anyway, I'm not really a programmer, so forgive me if I don't get the terminology correct, but they're trying to build a mechanism into the Linux kernel that will allow you to control RGB for multiple vendors in such a fashion that you'll be able to hook into it with other software and things. So I'm just curious. Most devices will not be available unless running OpenRGB as root. Okay. Well, so we'll see what we can do. Okay. All right, so let's add to desktop. Properties. That didn't work exactly the way I wanted it to. Okay. Well, so apparently, started the server, and we are not showing any devices. So this is probably just some generic device, and doesn't even appear that it's showing up. In the USB devices. So we might be out of luck on this one. I'll continue to play with this going forward, but yeah. Let's see. Thank you for making me laugh. Mint not having a shortcut key and you not wanting to uncheck it might be worth finding. Maybe keyboard shortcut, or is there a list somewhere for each? Usually there's a list. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you where each list is, but the key that you want to look for is you want to search by the desktop environment that your given Linux distribution is running. So in the case of Linux Lite, I believe that's XFCE. The version of Mint I'm running, I believe this is Cinnamon. So yeah, that makes it a gaming mic arm. Well, I don't do much gaming from, especially not from this machine, but it was inexpensive, and so I will take it regardless. It was cheap. It was a real good price when I got it, and for the purposes of having a secondary location to run an occasional live stream. It'll work in a pinch. So, what version of Mint is that? Cinnamon, Mate, or XFCE? I believe this is cinnamon. Oh, bugger. Let's see. System info. This is cinnamon, and this is still 21.1. I have not updated this machine in a while. So I had started updates before the stream, but they weren't completing fast enough, so I canceled out of them. So yes, this is 21.1 running cinnamon, and cinnamon 568. So I will probably start this running updates after the stream and let it run overnight. All right. I suppose I need to figure out what else we can talk about. Well, that's just some screws in the box. Well, so I do have a PCI Express Gen 3x4 M.2. This is a silicon power, 512 gigs, and I happen to have an extra storage card sitting around, but I don't think I've got any screwdrivers handy. So anyway, the some of these older machines that I've been running, I've taken these. I think I can at least get the box open. I've taken these PCI Express cards. They're really quite a simple affair. Extra props for this being purple, but basically it's a PCI Express to M.2 adapter, and these just work a treat if you want to breathe life into an older desktop computer that doesn't have M.2 on the motherboard. I've used these in a couple of machines already, and the speed increase, even over using a SATA 2.5-inch drive, is actually quite impressive. And, you know, especially if you're running Linux, because a lot of these old machines will not run Windows 11. I've got in arm's length, I've got 6 computers, but a couple of them, and I got these at a steal. I've got 2 of these HP Elite Desk micros. I think these are the micros. I can't keep track of which company is mini, which one is micro, and which one is tiny. But these are nice little machines for smaller tasks, or if you want to have a dedicated machine to run something like a few lightweight Docker containers. One of these I'm likely going to take and turn it into a document management system. This does have, you probably can't see it terribly well, but underneath that little fan there is an M.2 SSD. Excuse me. There's also room for a 2.5-inch drive if you wanted to expand storage further. But I've been watching videos over the weekend in between the prep work on the office to try to determine whether I want to run what is it, paper merge or paper cut and paper merge. Anyways, there's two fairly lightweight document management systems. They run with Docker, and they both do OCR. So if you have scanned documents, you'll be able to copy text in and out easily. So it's just a matter of determining which document management system that I want to go with and trial it. And worst case scenario, I try the other one too. Yeah, Paper Merge 3 just came out not too long ago. And Paper Cut is the other one, I think. So anyway, there are some really decent videos on those. Some of them are older than others, but I've got a bunch of documents from when I was teaching and different things like that. And I really want to get some of that scanned and cataloged so that I can get rid of the paper copies. And I've also got stuff from grad school and whatnot that I would kind of like to save, but I really don't necessarily want the paper copies anymore. So I'm hoping this will allow me to get some of this stuff cataloged and tagged so that I can find stuff if I ever do decide that I need it. It'll probably be something I'll make one or more videos on as well. So just something a little different than what I've covered on the channel before, but trying to expand the horizon of things a little bit, since the software that I built the channel on, that I covered pretty extensively in the beginning, is sort of on life support at the moment and is not seeing heavy development. So it's kind of left me stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to come up with ideas for software to cover. Let's see. I just bought one of those for my TrueNAS box. Yeah, you might have got a newer model. These are several years old. I think I paid $50 a piece for the pair of them. Maybe it was $30. I don't remember. It was a deal anyways, local deal. I purchased the TPM module for my Super Micro motherboard so I can upgrade to Windows 11. Nice. Tried playing an older game today and it hated Windows 11. The fact that I had more than 4 cores and that I had higher than a 1080p resolution. Oh my. Tried implementing the go-to fixes off of GitHub and it still did not launch correctly. Yes, the document management system. Other than retro gaming, Windows 11 has been amazing. Auto HDR for older DX9 and 10 games is a godsend. Yeah, I'm more into the retro side of things myself, and the stuff I do run on Steam tends to be rather low requirements. So these older machines, if I really want to game on them, I can. I mean, even this this i5 7500 would probably run Vampire Survivors just fine, even with the garbage integrated graphics that Intel has on these things. So let's see. Can you draw out in Paint the new studio layout? You talking the layout upstairs or where I'm at right now? Trying to visualize. But it does play flawlessly on the Steam Deck. Gives me another reason to get one. Is HDR better on Windows now? About a year last I had to go. So upstairs, I'm not sure if I've got any sort of paint program on here. Give me just a second and let me see what I've got. Okay, so all right, let me try to humor you, Joe. Again, I apologize for the inception issue, but okay, so let me see what I can do with this. Okay, so this is basically the way my office is, and before I had no, that's not what I want. Before I had the desk set up here with a table. That's not working the way I wanted either. Okay. Okay, so I had the desk set up there, and I had a table set up here, sort of like that. And so what I'm going to do with the new desk, so this is my living room over here. And this is the hallway. So the way I'm going to do this going forward is, no, that's not what I want. So okay. So anyways, that's not, that says it's an eraser, but that's not erasing. Okay, so anyways, we'll just do another craptastic rendition. So again, doorway. The new desk is going to go approximately here. And I might have another table running over to the wall just for extra equipment. And I'm hoping that I can make this work because on this wall here, I've only got one electrical outlet, and I do have a long outlet strip that I had everything else running off from on the old setup, but I'm not entirely sure that will reach how I need it to reach. So it's going to be a little bit of trial and error playing with it over the next few days. But I'll get it figured out, get the new desk placed, and hopefully have something where I can make the lighting look at least as decent as it does now, other than some lighting glare in my glasses. I guess this doesn't look awful. But yeah, I kind of made the call to do it down here a little later than I had anticipated. And so there's a little more stuff around than I really wanted to have down here when I did this. So so the camera, let's see, got another comment here. I found that a clean, no updates of Windows 7 will run Mist Masterpiece. But if I update after Mist is installed, then QuickTime updates and it goes buggy. Yeah. Unfortunately. So the camera is actually coming from the same angle that I normally have it. It's just a different camera. And this is, I don't know if I've got this zoomed in. Yeah, so there's a little bit wider view of the room, but I guess that's not bad, but I don't know. I almost could have brought down another light, but I didn't bring down the other one, which is okay. Are you painting too? If I do any painting, it's just going to be a little bit of touch up painting. There are just a couple spots where I probably should sand a little bit and try to cover and blend a couple spots that I've made in the wall on the walls since it was initially painted a few years back. It's either that or I dig into my poster collection from back in the day when I was working at the video store. I think I've still got a movie poster for Swordfish, if I remember correctly. In fact, I might just run over and grab those, and maybe we'll get some props out. I'll get some props out for tonight. If I may ask, I'm very new to Flatpak and filled my 64 gig flash drive. Is there some sort of housekeeping involved with using it, or do you just need more room to use it? That's a good question. I've never filled up a drive with Flatpaks. I don't use them a lot myself. That's a good question. Maybe somebody else in the chat has an answer for that. I don't know if I've got a good answer for you. I apologize for that. Oh, in the drawing. So it's going to be a similar angle. It's still going to come from my left side towards me. So if I throw up the drawing again, so the camera would roughly be in this corner here, pointing that way. So have I mentioned that I'm not an artist? So Joe, I've got to know, how many times has Ashley done a face palm since I've been doing bad art tonight? It's probably cringeworthy. It's bad enough. I can draw a mean stick figure though. HDR mileage varies. It's more about the display than the operating system. Not all manufacturers calibrate the screen OOB or at all. So OLEDs and ProArt are night and day compared to mainstream gamer ones. Yeah. Swordfish. Wow, I haven't heard that movie in a long time. Give me just a second. Let me go grab my bin O posters. All right. Well, I didn't have the big stash of posters down here, but there is Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Detroit Rock City. And by the way, disco does suck. 10 Things I Hate About You, or it could also be called A Modern Retelling of Taming of the Shrew. Let's see, what do I have in this roll? I haven't had these out in a while. Kiss of Fire. I don't know who, Christina Applegate on Stripper Pole, so I'm not going to show that one. Legally Blonde. So these are old movies. I left stopped working in the video store in 2002. Oh, here we go. Lara Croft Tomb Raider. That one's seen better days, but everybody likes Angelina, right? Other than her little stint with Billy Bob Thornton. That's still disappointing to me. I swear I've got a Swordfish poster. What's this one? Sleepy Hollow. And yeah, we won't show that one either. That poster is even older, and yeah. The Swordfish poster must be upstairs. Up there with Hackers, yes. Yeah, I'm working 9:30 to 2:30 tomorrow, so it's tomorrow's a short day. I am working on Tuesday. I'm there. I actually have to go in early for a staff meeting Tuesday, and then it's going to be a day mostly full of meetings. I think I've got 3 different meetings that I've got to go to. So that'll be interesting. One is with the representative of the local Chamber of Commerce, because I do work on their website, and yeah, Picasso, har har. It gets the point across. A mean stick figure. Yeah, well, you know, it's all right. I try to joke around a little bit when the mood strikes. Into home cinema, so it's just movies I use AV amp to pass through now. Nice. So we won't see you living room anymore in the camera shot. No, no, you'll see a wall. You might see the other door, but that's a solid door. It doesn't have a window. So, yeah. Dr. Evil. Ten Things I Hate About You. I watched that movie a lot as my ex-girlfriend loved that movie. Yeah, I think it was my sister that loved that movie. I should probably give the poster to her, but one of my nieces would probably confiscate it, so I'm just going to hold on to it. Let's see. Play most of my games in 4K HDR and use Blender for modeling, minis, and painting before I go through the work of actually sculpting, printing, and painting something. Nice. All right. So there are 10 people watching tonight, which is great. So if you haven't already, I would appreciate everybody hitting the like button. I hate asking, but I'm trying to be more consistent about doing so. And because if you don't ask, then people aren't going to know. And not every stream does somebody in the audience actually say that. So it's okay. You should laminate your posters. I've thought about laminating some of them, or at least getting them in at least inexpensive frames, because some of these, well, several of these are well over 20 years old now. So, and I've got more upstairs that are at least that age. Some of them may be a little older than that. So, definitely want to preserve them as much as possible. They're not in the best of shape. They were all used in a video store, and they hung in the front window, and so there is some sun damage to them. But for my purposes, and since I don't really go out and buy posters anymore, getting a few of them framed wouldn't be a bad thing. It's just measuring and tracking down frames at a price that won't break my bank account. So yeah, a few of those I wouldn't mind checking the prices on. I mean, if they're selling for something decent, then I might be willing to part with them, especially since I got them for nothing, and it would be 100% pure profit. So, how's your new internet connection holding up over time? So, I did a speed test from this machine before the stream, and granted, I've got a couple of switches in between here and where the connection is running upstairs, but I was getting about 95 down and 23 up. So it's holding up very nice overall. Before I took my Mac Mini down, I was getting 950 down and 23 up. So there's definitely probably some bad cabling somewhere in my network that I need to track down and replace. And it just so happens I've got 5 boxes of Cat 5e cable in here that belongs to a friend / business partner of mine, and I'm just storing them at the moment. But if I needed to break into one box, I don't think it would be a big deal. Let's see. Jeremy also has channel memberships. You should check it out. What do you have planned for channel memberships this month? So for the remainder of March, probably it's going to amount to getting videos a little bit earlier than general availability, I guess you could call it. But going forward, I am looking to do other things, whether it's like a webinar type thing just for members, or any of a number of things I've been considering. But I've just got one lonely member at the moment, so it all comes down to getting at least one more, and then getting some consensus of what people might like and trying to make that a reality. So I've also got Patreon. I unfortunately don't have the link right in front of me, but give me a moment. And I might be able to get that for everybody. So yeah, it's been an interesting month so far, because I've had some false starts with some long form videos that I'd been working on, and I've more or less gone back to the drawing board on those. Excuse me. But I have as I mentioned, I've been working on planning a video or a couple of videos on SSH. As I mentioned, I seem to be getting more questions on that lately. So I want to have a guide, so I'm not having to send people to another channel to get that information. So, oops. Let's see. There we go. Paste that in. All right. So that's there. If people want to do Patreon rather than YouTube memberships, that's also available. And TVJ became a member. Thank you, sir. So my other member won't be lonely anymore. All right. So let's see. Definitely photograph the posters. Yeah. I got to get them flattened back out. They've been rolled up for quite a number of years. I think the last time I had them out was when I was finishing my undergrad degree, and I wrapped that up in 2008. So they've probably been rolled up ever since. Using a 27-inch 4K 144 hertz HDR 1000 mini LED at the moment. I will upgrade again when micro lens arrayed quantum dot OLEDs hit Micro Center later this year. Nice. With the internet cable, check the plug and socket terminals for grease and corrosion. I've never seen grease on Cat 5e, so all right. What else? Especially now with the proliferation of OLED and them going through their plasma burn-in phase with stuck pixels to actually being good now. Yes, sir. That does make 2 members. So I will throw this out there. You'll want to keep an eye on the community tab. I'm assuming you get notifications when new posts are made to the community tab, but I have done some members only posts during the past month or so, just to try to force myself to get into a consistent habit of doing such. And yeah, I am really looking forward to cutting down on publishing shorts for the near term, and I want to get some long form videos out. But at the moment, my priority, maybe I'll even work on it some more after the stream is over. But my priority is getting my office / studio put back together, and being able to record up there again. So it's gonna take some doing, but I really want to get that put together. And if it doesn't happen tonight, then for sure tomorrow after I get out of work, that's going to be my priority, because I need to be able to record midweek news for Wednesday. If I don't get anything else out between now and then, I gotta get that done. And I'm hoping to be back upstairs for the live stream Wednesday night. So if I had wood near me, I would knock on it, but I don't at the moment. So do members get feet pics? Feet of the new desk. I would be willing to do feet pics of those. Mineral oil can show up on Cat 5 sometimes because of people doing aquarium builds with immersion cooling. That's the gnarliest I've seen. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. We've got jokers in the crowd tonight. That's all right. That's all right. All for a good time, right? Yeah. For the right price. Well, maybe. Damp walls affect Cat 5. Fortunately, I don't have any damp walls. Jeremy can quit his job at the library with his feet. Feet don't fail me now. Right. Yeah, that's something. No feet. I will unsub. Well, see, now you make me want to take pictures of the feet for my new desk and post that in the members community feed. Or I don't know. I could show the feet of a blue-footed booby. That's a bird, by the way, people. That's a bird. And yes, there are shirts out there that say nice boobies, and it says, and it has a picture of the blue-footed booby bird on it. So yeah. And Jacob Johnson has joined the party. Welcome. So Luke, the Studio B, as I'm calling this space at the moment, it's on the first floor of the building I live in. My apartment's on the second floor, but since my studio is / office is tore apart at the moment, I brought down just enough equipment, mainly the lights and the camera, to make this work. So yeah. Feet pics of the desk. Yeah, there you go. Well, nobody has specified human feet pics, just feet, and technically those are feet. Could you have your older computers as background in your set? Not here, and I'm not sure it would work the way I'm planning to lay out the room upstairs. I'll have to think on that. Because I have my Tandy Color Computer 3 that I bought. I've got a Color Computer 1 that a friend who's now deceased gave me many years ago. And I've got I'm not sure if I've got the Amiga 1000 here or not. It's another computer that was given to me. I've never even turned it on. I really need to get it out and take it apart and make sure there's no capacitors leaking, because I know that happens with those machines, and that would be sad. But if nothing else, it would make a nice prop. So there might be some options for old computers in the background of the set. The unfortunate part about my office is that it's got a slanted roof line. So in order to do my lighting, I have limited options on where I can place my desk. So, if that makes sense. Sounds like we need some merch. Blue booby. Yeah. So, if I remember correctly, I'll go to image search. And maybe we can get there we go. Take this off and we'll switch over to this screen. There you go. There's a blue-footed booby. So, and there's there you go. There's a pair of blue-footed boobies. Oh, I digress. Let's see. Thank you. This is a semi-temporary setup. I am hoping to at some point move this back upstairs, but I need to get a couple of projects wrapped up there so I can make room to take this setup back upstairs and run Ethernet to it. So it is Joe. I guess I assumed the worst. You were in a funeral home. Also, you didn't specify living feet. Yeah. For background, you can find some old PCBs and cut them out to fit some canvas and epoxy them together for a tech prop. That's an idea. That's definitely an idea. I've got some older motherboards that I could pull out of some dead computers and potentially do something like that. I had to think on that, how I can do that, because I'd want to get a half sheet of plywood and um, mount the motherboards to that, and probably get some like spray epoxy to go over them, because I know at least one of the motherboards I have available does have blown capacitors. Videos on each computer, potentially, although some of those old machines are difficult to actually hook up and run video out on for a live stream or a recorded video. I could hold the computers up, but I may have to rely on emulation to show what they would look like running. And Tech for Fun became a YouTube member. Well, thank you, sir. Amiga 500 was my childhood computer. Yeah, so I got an Amiga 500 just after high school. And then I got an Amiga 1200 right before Commodore went belly up. And then I had a friend of mine who ordered an Amiga Technologies Amiga 4000 Tower. And then he sold that to me at a very, very discounted price. I think I paid $500 for a 4000 Tower. So I've got a few Amigas around. I think those are all still in storage out at my dad's place. But at some point I will haul them in here and do some videos on them, hopefully. I'm a member on my other channel, but been meaning to switch to here. Those look like the girls I got before Ashley. Oh my. I can just imagine her smacking you right now. They were cold and blue. Did they have a pulse, Joe? Just checking. Oh my. That's a good looking bird. Wow. Thank you, Jacob, for joining the party. I appreciate that very much. So we've gone from 1 to 3 members in the span of one live stream. I'll show the computer screen on camera, talk about history and genealogy of the software. I'll have to see what of the old computers still work. But I have actually been meaning to do that, just to bring a little retro onto the channel, because I'm no spring chicken at this point, and all the things, a lot of the things I bought new are now retro. So I even have a Walkman and a Discman upstairs that when I packed them away, they still worked, but I haven't put batteries in them to test them lately. Jacob is the man, and Jay. All right. I DM'd you a picture of a canvas I could use for the prop. I can go bigger. What service did you send that on, Ezra? Because I know I've got attachments and links turned off on the stream. So yep. Number 3. Welcome, Terrell. This is a temporary location down on the first floor of the building I live in. I really want to clean some stuffs out back here, and this curtain you see over here, it will close to hide some of that stuff, which if I do another stream down here, I will make sure to do that first and get rid of these lamps behind me. But that's all right. This was kind of a last minute change since I didn't get my desk put together completely today. So hopefully I'll be back upstairs for Wednesday's stream. Hopefully I'll have that desk and everything put back together tomorrow night. And then by Tuesday, I can be recording midweek news up there and maybe change things up just a little bit. Like Studio B. Well, it's different equipment, and this was kind of a little bit of an experiment to see if this would all work. But it is nice to know that this Nexigo Iris, using it just strictly via USB, it works great. And I've even got zoom in capabilities. I guess that's max zoomed in. But anyways, I might change this around a little bit. And maybe I will flip flop between this set and my office upstairs just to change things up a little bit. If I do that, I'm going to get a second monitor on this computer though, because one monitor is just it's a little painful to try to do this. And Jay says, I have a Walkman and Discman as well. I still have a Discman. Facebook. Okay, let me take a look, Ezra. Let's see. Sent a photo. Yeah. That might just be a good size. Then I just had to figure out getting it mounted to a wall upstairs, but that's not a big deal. Jacob gifted a membership to My C Prince. Probably doesn't show on StreamYard. Interesting. It has enough space in the backside to house battery units. 2, I could use the trace paths on the circuit boards for simple LEDs, so it'd look extra 70s sci-fi. Nice. I've got a Sinclair programmable calculator. The book is bigger than it is. Nice. Studio B is actually pretty cool. We call that rustic chic. Well, I guess I call it paneling hell, but that's because I grew up in a house that had a lot of paneling in it, and I despise paneling. And the fact that it's a terrible, terrible fire hazard. I'm having fun learning Proxmox. Took me 3 days to figure out how to get a Windows 11 VM to work. Yeah. that's another video. I actually need to remake the instructions that, or the video I did showing how to install Windows 11 in Proxmox without using the VirtIO disk or ISO. Apparently no longer works in whether it's a Proxmox 8.1 issue or whether it's a Windows 11 22 or 23H2 issue. It does not work. So luckily they have built in an extra piece where it actually prompts you to add another a virtual optical disk with the VirtIO drivers. So that's kind of interesting. I had a ZX Spectrum 48K, my first computer. Nice. The first family computer we had was if you go back that far, you may remember briefly on the market was something called the Coleco Atom computer, which was a Z80 based machine that was problematic to say the least. I think that thing lasted us a year and a half and it just up and stopped working one day. TVJ's leaving us. Have a good night, Jay. Sinclair calculator, very nice. Never seen one in real life. I have not either, I don't believe. Just helps Jeremy. He can post member only content and stuff if he wants to. I haven't looked if there is any yet. So there is definitely some content that I've pushed over to member only. Some of it was it might be a little outdated. I do have several posts on the community page, and yeah, it's still a work in progress, but now that there are 3 of you, you guys can be the 3 amigos. If you remember the Chevy Chase movie. So yeah, the 3 of you in the membership now. All right. I ended up installing Ramina to do RDC with Windows. Yeah, that's I've used Ramina before, or Remina. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. Are you monitoring on your phone? Yeah, I've been monitoring a little bit on the phone. Well, that is an interesting way to see who all is viewing. Well, there are 9 members. Wow. Well, that's awesome. That just ballooned up nicely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will definitely have to get more content up for the members now. Jacob gifted 1. I gifted 5. Jeremy isn't getting it. Look on your phone. Yep, it does, in fact. So I guess it does show up here. There it is. All right. Thank you very much. So this will be fun. Okay, so I wouldn't normally mention this necessarily, but um, I'm sure most of you are aware of who Willie Howe is. He opened up his um, forums, I guess you could call them, today. I think it was today, maybe it was yesterday. And there are people funneling in there left and right. And he is planning, I think it was a private message he sent me, but he is planning on doing a category, I guess you could call it, in his community, just for YouTube creators. So hopefully, if any of you follow Willie, you might head over there. I've been watching his videos for many years. Before I really gained any traction on YouTube, I was following Willie, and he was the one that got me into Ubiquity gear. So he's a very knowledgeable dude, and worth checking out if you're looking for information about Unify, about Grandstream, about phone systems. He's got all kinds of stuff on his channel. Things that if I had a bank account that would allow it, I would cover a lot of the same things, but unfortunately that's not an option right at the moment. But that's all right. That's all right. I don't want to step on his toes because he's been very pivotal to some of the equipment that I've purchased over the years. Okay, we saw that one. Let's see, that's an interesting way to see his viewing. Okay, I missed a couple of these. Looking forward to his forums. Yeah. Willie lives like 20 minutes from me. Super nice, knowledgeable guy. Yeah. I've never met him in person. And I go to Illinois several times a year, but the people that I visit, my friends live in northern Illinois, not far from the Wisconsin border. So I've never had the opportunity to meet up with Willie, although if an opportunity were to present itself, I would not be bashful to make a detour to his part of the state before going north, even if it's just to meet up for lunch or something and then continue on. But Willie's just a good dude, and yeah, if people can make it on over into his forums, that's a great place to be. I think he's going to do some great things with it. Maybe someday I will do the same thing, but right now I'm just going to feel good about participating in Willie's forums. Let's see. Yes, I agree, Joe. Good guy. I need to learn Proxmox, VMware, Workstation Pro works well for my Linux VMs. Yeah. One of the things I love most about Proxmox is you can take a an old Dell Optiplex. You could take an old HP ProDesk, or a Lenovo, whatever their ThinkStation or whatever they call them. You can slap Proxmox on any of those and it'll run. Basically, any place that Debian Linux will run, you can run Proxmox within reason. If you're going to be running VMs, you definitely want more processor cores. The more you have, the better, and the more memory you have, the better as well. Can't sign up for Willie's forum. The activation link emails gives you a 404 error. Interesting. He might be having issues with it at the moment, or maybe it's down for maintenance. Willie's one of the smartest networking guys I know. Yeah, absolutely. He's exactly like he is in the videos. If you make it out that this way ever, I'll buy lunch. All right. I will keep that in mind. And yeah, usually I get to Illinois for Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and then I go between Christmas and New Year's. So a few times a year I get down there. I'm interested for Memorial Day weekend. My friends just completed a pricey kitchen renovation. And I'm very interested in seeing that in person. The pictures don't really do it full justice, I don't think. I will try tomorrow after work. If still doing it, I'll send him a message. Yeah, and I'll try to check after the stream and see if I can still access it or not. I don't think it was an early access thing. But I could be wrong. It may have been something he had people sign up for, or it was just for people on his mailing list. Ugh, excuse me. I honestly don't remember 100% sure. What specific room are you in? As far as where I've got this equipment set up right now, is that where you're talking about? So this is towards the back of the building, but not completely completely at the back of the building. Unfortunately, the first floor of the funeral home has some electrical issues. So where I would prefer to set up is not an option at the moment, because I'd have to run long extension cords in order to make it work. And I don't know, that may be an option at some point in the future, but so mine had no issues earlier today, but some people were having some issues. And David Grishko's back. Yeah, we're still here. Willie did a community post today, I think. Okay. Yes, that room. What was the room formerly used as? So, I see the drapes. So this area next to me, on my right hand side. Over in this corner, so sort of in front of me and to my right, is the door to the basement. So this area over here was just sort of a little bit of a storage area. There's windows behind the curtains there, but this curtain, let's see if I can show this. So the curtain, that won't go up. This curtain up above, there's another curtain that comes across. You can sort of see it over behind me. That would just cover up stuff in this area. And this is just sort of a back, it was just a seating room, I guess you could call it. If there was a service, there'd be chairs back here. So we'll zoom back in. Anyway, but yeah, this was sort of a corner of the room or part of the room that I kind of confiscated as I was trying to get some computer projects done, and I needed another area where I could set things up and actually tear down systems if I needed to, and be able to do some data recovery and different things of that nature. So like I've got a just pull the cables off this. I've got a hard drive dock here because one of the business computers my dad had was the one that had the blown capacitors on the motherboard. So I pulled the hard drive out to salvage his business files off it, and I'll probably reuse the drive for something. I'm not sure what, but I could always throw it in one of my Proxmox servers. So have a nice one. Early rise for work. Have a good night, Alonzo. Appreciate you coming in. Is there any value to the building as a funeral home, or is it too outdated? That is a good question. I have mentioned to my father that I'd be interested in at least talking numbers on it. But that was before the tornado came through and destroyed the garage. So it's one of those weird situations where now it's a matter of when are we going to get the garage rebuilt? And then you know, talking some numbers and seeing if I can even afford to buy the place. But as a funeral home operation, now that it's been out of business since 2020, and with the tornado taking out the garage, which had the prep room, I'm not sure it's got a lot of value as a funeral home at the moment. So it's one of those situations where if he had sold the place 3 years ago, it wouldn't be an issue. It'd be somebody else's problem. But yeah, it's a question I don't necessarily have an answer for, or not a good answer for. Every time you mention funeral home, my mind flashes to 6 Feet Under from HBO. Yeah. And funny enough, my dad hated that series when it came out, but then I think he ended up buying the series years after it had been canceled. So I don't know. Did you join his member yet? Only $4. Is there anything unique about it as a funeral home? Like, are there different rooms? So yeah. At the risk of doing this Inception thing again. All right. So, and there's the blue-footed boobies again, a pair of them no less. All right. So, new image. Again, this is not going to be the greatest drawing in the world, but did not have just basic shapes. Okay, so well, let's see. So on this side of the building, you've got a set of double doors here, and then you've got a little bit of area and a small door there. Then you come back, and in the back you've got a door, and then come over to this side, and there's a door, and then you come up front. And so there's a door there. So, and this is obviously very much not scale. So you come inside and there's an office area here. And then you've got a oops. Actually, that comes out this way because that's where I'm at right now. You got this, then you got an archway here. And then you've got, I don't know, there's a little closet area and then a door there. So this is really a bad representation, but I think you'd have a wall here. So I am set up. I've got a table here and a table like this. And then there's this is the basement door here. And then there's a back storage room there, I guess. Gives you a rough idea. There's also a bathroom here. Kind of thing. Anyways, so I'm set up in this area here. So this would be, you would have, the deceased laid out there, and chairs here for a funeral. You'd have chairs over on this side and chairs where I'm sitting right now. But my thought was to, since this big open room here, if we were to get the electrical fixed, which I'm sure is not going to be a cheap proposition, but if we were able to get the electrical hashed out, whatever issue has been caused there, my thought would be to put a setup in this room and use that as a streaming area. But it's just one of those situations where I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with the whole thing. So yeah. Okay, we saw that one. That one. I would assume the value is in the zone commercial property. Yes, that's where my thought is as well. The biggest issue with this building is that the building is over 100 years old, and it's had several additions that were probably not put on by licensed builders over the years. One of the previous owners thought he was like a master builder and electrician and this and that, and some of the odd issues that I've experienced since I've lived in the second floor of the building make me question just how skilled this person was at electrical. So, for instance, my entire kitchen and living room are on a single circuit. So it's a little interesting. Little interesting. And you're drawing where was the seating and paying respects. Really? Those are chairs. Those are rows of chairs right there. So you come in here, you go see the dead person, and then you sit your behind down to pay your respects. I'm not an artist. So yeah, that's approximately where I would want the set to be, I suppose. Last time I had to fork over for electrical repairs, there was $120 an hour for the master electrician. Yikes. Was the building always a funeral home? No. As far as I know, it was something else back in the late 1800s and early 1900s. I think it's been a funeral. It had been a funeral home since the 1950s. The previous owner before my dad was a World War II vet and actually served with my grandfather, which is how I found out that my grandfather was court-martialed several times while he was in the service. Apparently he liked his booze a little too much. But yeah. Yeah, I'm cringing at the thought of getting a real electrician in here. I'm very much cringing at the thought, because I suspect the whole place would need to be rewired. And what I would really want to do is have the apartment electrical separated from the main floor electrical. But in order to do that, I would have to get that somehow, and I don't know the process to do it, but I'm sure I can find it. I'd have to get the apartment classified as a separate address. So it would, I guess, typically be the half address of the main floor. Take a picture of the drawing I wanted for my fridge. Okay, well, give me just a second. I don't even know. Export as. What form? Oh, saves it as a ping. We'll save that. And oh, look at this. All channel members, image. Pictures. Okay, Joe, just for you, check the community feed. Oops. Excuse me. Can you sign your name on it? I don't know if I want to admit to it. I think your idea of using extension cable is okay. You don't need much power. Right. Just computer, a couple monitors, and some lights. Everything else is USB for this setup downstairs. So it's not awful. So if the building burns down, is there insurance? So I've got renter's insurance for my stuff on the second floor. I probably actually need to increase my renter's insurance. But I should be mostly okay to get computer equipment and my clothes and things of that nature replaced. Beyond that, I might be sitting in folding chairs and stuff for a while before I can buy more furniture, but I'd make it work. Maybe they can take one of those town bonds and roll it into the library model, right? Yeah. My kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, and patio are all on separate circuits in addition to the master switch. Right. Well, it's a crazy old building. And I know it's been around longer than the building you're in, Ezra. So
I can guarantee that because I remember when that building wasn't there. Going to your little town. Have you disconnected the power or fuses from the garage that was damaged? Yes. Yes, that was done like the day after the storm came through. You would not have to get a different address, just have an electrician wire it, then ask DTE or consumers for a second drop. Yeah. Hopefully some of that can be rolled into the work they're going to have to do to rebuild a garage out and back. But I'm kind of just waiting in the holding pattern because the insurance company is dragging their feet on this one, and so are the prospective construction people to get quotes, and it's just been a long 5 months because I think it was 5 months ago or 6 months ago today that it happened, actually. Are the rooms that have the same circuit on the same level, or is it one above another? That's a good question too. So I know that the kitchen and the living room in my apartment are on the second floor. However, I'm not sure what they're tied into on the first floor, if anything. It's a cobbled mess, and I suspect it's going to be an expensive fix. Certainly it's going to be way more an hour than I make currently. Can you send me the signed PNGs? I can probably do that. Can't download from Community Pick. Need high resolution for the fridge. Oh my. Should we start the GoFundMe now with that electrical setup? Something like that. Going to need a lot more channel memberships for this project. Yeah, that's probably true. All right. Have a good night, Terrell. Was the second floor always an apartment, like when it was an active funeral home? Yes, I was living up there when it was an active funeral home. The apartment was, I think it was always there, or at least part of the apartment was always there. I know there's been at least one, if not two, additions to the original space that makes up the second floor. So the room that is my living room now was originally a deck or a porch, and they enclosed it, and it still gets cold out there, but you know, even with doing a bunch of insulating work on it, but yeah, I'm not sure when or where the other additions were added. Did you ever have to turn down Pink Floyd during a service? Oh, you mean Pink Floyd? So no, not really. Usually when he was having services here, I was at work. or else I was helping with the service, so I wasn't upstairs playing Pink Floyd. But yeah, it's been an interesting place to live. Mostly from the living through 2 construction projects on the second floor, getting some laminate flooring put in, and different things of that nature, some new windows. But it's been an interesting place to live. Let's see. I'm pretty sure my place was made in around 77. Lots of appliances in the units are from that era, as well as other things. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of the 2-story building that's next to yours. I know that was not there when I was working at the supermarket just west of, well, it used to be just west of where you're at. It's now a sword shop, if I remember correctly. Sabersmith, I believe, is the name of it. You're kind of in a pickle because you can't just call the landlord. He'll just ask you to fix it. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, the 2-story is new, 2020 construction. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, because I remember when that wasn't there. Yeah, maybe there were some trees or something in front of the building you were in back in the day when I was working over there, but I don't really remember. Yeah, it's I've never actually been into the sword shop. The sword shop actually started in my hometown, and then it moved 4 miles west, and is where Ezra is at now. A resident's place went up in flames a while back, and they had to repair that. Oh my gosh! Glad I'm not in the newer unit. Don't blame you there. Don't blame you there. All right. There's also boiler heating, and in the concrete floor, they ran tubing for heat in that as well. Wow. So it's super 70s. Yeah. This is true. This is true. All right. Any other questions, comments? I wonder if you could get a grant to turn the first floor into some sort of a community thing, like a retro gaming lab. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about a number of things. I still think having recording spaces on this floor would be a very interesting idea. But I don't know. I don't know if it would fly. We have found there's lots of grant money available for those willing to write them. We'll need to chat offline. I'd love to learn more about these grant programs and where I can find them. I'm willing to at least attempt to write a grant. So I'm half expecting to find mercury switches for lights in a unit or two, to be honest. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Is the Chamber of Commerce you meet with the same in your area where you live? Unfortunately, no. They help get people we know a $200,000 grant to start something new for the city. No, I'm in a little bitty, it's not even really a town, it's a village. And although there's been some new people that have come in and done some work in the downtown area, yeah, I'm not that flush at the moment with working at the library. Nobody gets rich working at a library. And I'm below market. So for the work, the kind of work that I do, at least in any sort of a mainstream business environment, I'm below market, but yeah, that's why I'm on the lookout for something different. And you know, if I could make something else happen this year, then you know, maybe I can be in that sweet spot of being able to say, hey, sell me the building, let's get a new garage put in, and you know, we'll work out the details. But yeah, I'd really like to have an arcade down here, but I don't think that I don't think there's I think there's something against arcades in the downtown area, if I remember correctly. Not long after I moved in, I read a bunch of information about this kind of stuff, and it was not encouraging, let's just say. But it is what it is. It's I guess you would call it a bedroom community. It's in the corner of the capital city, outside the city limits proper, but you know, a lot of people that used to work at GM and whatnot would live here because it was an easy commute. So, California is raising minimum wage to 20 an hour. You should go flip burgers at McDonald's in California. Yeah. And then I'd have to live in a cardboard box because $20 an hour in California is not even going to be close to cost of living. Blows my mind that the school down the road from us in approaching Ionia is still called Coon. Definitely a snapshot of where the schoolhouse was built. Oh my. I'll have to go back and watch this stream from the start. It's been an interesting one. I'll give you that. It's been an interesting one. So on that note, we've been at this for 2 hours and 18 minutes. It is 12 a.m. on Monday now. So I'd kind of like to wrap this up so I can get some sleep. So we'll go a couple more minutes, but starting wages in Michigan are solid when compared to cost of living here. We're super cheap. Most wages start at 18-ish an hour now. Yeah. Why aren't you a channel member yet? One more day until Shogun on FX. Back from the 80s. Have a good night, Luke. I have a 30-minute drive to work. This will be a good thing to listen to there and back. You get special drawings in the community page. I didn't say they were good drawings. All right. Thank you everybody for sticking around for over 2 hours. I think we had 12 people at one point in time. We're down to 7 now, but this has been fun and interesting, and you got to see my bad drawings. Of course, this was the first time I'd ever used that drawing software, so probably could have used something better, but hey, it's all right. So on that note, everybody have a good night, and if the computer gods are smiling on me, I will have everything put together in time for midweek news on Wednesday and a stream Wednesday night. Worst case scenario, you'll see me back in Studio B, as I guess I'm going to call it from now on. So everybody take care, have a good night, and I will see you soon.